Well, hey there, guys. It's great to be with you again. And it's been a little while since I've done one of these. So here's a little bit of a surprise for you heading through this holiday season. So I've alluded to this a little bit on the blog, a little bit on the podcast, and I'll just come out here and sort of explain it. So the plan, assuming that I actually get it to work right, is to put a video up here on the channel on December 31st, commemorating the 1955 World Series. I've been spending a lot of time sort of working on this. I've been looking at different approaches and things that I think can be maybe unique for the channel. So look forward to that because it's going to be pretty different. One of the things that will be different here from other channels is that I'm going to do a replay of the 55 World Series using a whole bunch of different games. If I can make this work, and I don't know if I can because I get pretty busy, but if I can make it work, I'm going to use 6 different games to do this replay. And we're going to start off here with Diamond Mine Baseball. Now, because Diamond Mine Baseball is a computerized game, I can play this in front of you so you can watch as I play it. Now, I'm going to do 3 different computerized games. I could do more, but I don't really have enough money right now to buy Replay. I don't really want to do Baseball for Windows. I don't really want to grab the Stratomatic game, right? There's some stuff I do want to do card and dice. So what I'm planning on doing here for members on the channel is I'm going to do some of these replays sort of in front of you, game by game. Now, if you look at your calendar, you'll notice that I'm starting this quite late, which is kind of a problem. Right, so I'm probably going to have to do more than 1 game per day. I don't know exactly how that's going to work with my schedule, so I'm going to do kind of the best that I can. But we're going to push pretty hard and try to get through this. So it's been a little while since I've done, sort of gameplay with play-by-play. I know that some of you guys miss it. One of the reasons why I stopped doing this on the main channel is because it was not popular at all with a larger audience, and I know that the majority of my viewers would not watch this content. And so I'm going to keep this as a thing for paying members, sort of as a reward to you guys, as a thank you for you guys, and also so you can sort of keep along with this. So none of this is scripted, right? All of this is 100% sort of off the cuff, and we're going to have a whole bunch of these videos likely coming up in the next couple of days, unless something like dramatic happens here, or unless I get somehow bogged down in the world of video creation, which does happen from time to time. Now, there's sort of a surprise you're going to see. So both with Diamond Mine Baseball and eventually with OOTP, which is going to be next, I'm going to do a full season replay using the autoplay feature. Now, the problem is that it's not necessarily the case that the same teams will win the pennant, and that's exactly what happened here. So you can see right in front of you, the Brooklyn Dodgers ended up winning 102 games. I'm going to tell you this, if you're running a replay and the 1955 Dodgers don't win the pennant, there's probably a problem. Something's going on, right? The Dodgers were awesome, but in the American League, it was the Cleveland Indians that ended up winning the pennant and not the New York Yankees. The Yankees ended up 4 games out, similar to the White Sox. In real life, it was the Yankees, of course, who won 96 games. So this isn't really that much of a swing from what happened in real life. This is actually very plausible. I don't have it open in front of me, but I do know that the Indians were in first place or near first place for big chunks of September. Like literally in real life in 1955, this scenario happens if like you have maybe 2 or 3 games slipped around. So the Indians end up winning the American League. And I've already gone through, I'll show you here actually, I've already gone through and I've changed the manager profiles so that we have about the right number of players that are eligible. There it is, roster manager profile. They always hide this stuff. So for the Dodgers, I have 25 players on the active roster. I did make a couple of changes from real life. For example, this guy, Sandy Koufax, is going to be eligible to play. Koufax was awesome in this replay, apparently. 1.65 ERA, won 5 games, lost only 1. 60 innings pitched, so the computer used him a little bit more, and he was used mostly in relief. And look at that against righties. Wow, it's just amazing. This guy was really, really good. He showed a lot of signs of being a great pitcher right from the start, despite giving up a bunch of walks. So Koufax is going to be on the World Series roster. As I'm looking through this, I'm not quite sure if these players who are not on the roster, which one of them was in real life. I can't remember, maybe like Jim Hughes was or something. I don't know. Walter Alston was in love with using sort of these older players, so whatever. And then for the Indians, of course, because I have nothing to compare with, I went through ahead of time and put a whole bunch of players in the minor leagues, mostly players who were actually kind of like not regular starters or players who just didn't have a good season in the replay. Vic Wertz is listed as day-to-day. I can't change this because Diamond Mine is stupid. Anyway, so Vic Wertz is not going to play. That's why there's 26 members in the active roster, not 25. Wirtz was injured in real life. In fact, he had polio in September 1955, and fortunately was able to beat it. But people were worried that it was a life-threatening illness. The other big story from Cleveland, of course, is Ralph Kiner, who was there for his one season in Cleveland. He was injured, had a bad back. In real life, before the World Series was played, Ralph Kiner announced that he was going to retire from baseball, which is what he did, ended up coaching and then eventually doing broadcasting and so on. Here, he's going to get his chance to play in the World Series, but probably won't be a starter. So we'll see what happens with that. So there you have it. I did want to look really quick at some of the batting leaders and pitching leaders. We'll make this fast for you. This is just all the major leagues. It was Ricky Ashburn hitting .359. These batting averages overall are just about where you want them to be. I presume the same is true of on-base percentage and slugging percentage. I don't have that stuff memorized for real life. At home runs, Ernie Banks had a good season, hit 51 home runs compared to 44 in real life. 44, I believe, was already the record for most home runs hit by a shortstop. So, yeah, Banks had a great replay. Not too much else here that's really that interesting to look at, so we'll go look at the pitchers real quick. So for pitching leaders, we have, let's get this open. We had Bob Turley actually with the ERA lead at 2.43. And Herb Score struck out 245. This is in comparison to exactly 245 in real life. How about that? It's not very common, but you see everything line up perfectly. The Yankees were likely hurt by Turley's propensity for walking people. 195 walks given up compared to 177 in real life. 177 isn't great either, right? But you're talking 195 walks and 200 strikeouts, and you wonder why is it that they didn't play so well? Well, he kept giving up base runners. That's the problem. There was only one 20-game winner in this replay, which was Frank Sullivan. Sullivan with the Red Sox won 20, lost 10. Red Sox still were not able to get it turned around. I think they finished in 5th place, if I remember right. We'll see again in a second. Turley had the best batting average against in the replay, but it really wasn't good enough to help the Yankees, who, like I said, finished about 4 games out of 1st place. So there you go. That's a pretty quick idea of where the season landed. And so let's just jump straight into it here. So the way that we're going to do this is I'm going to manage the home team for all 7 games or all games of the series. We'll see how long it actually lasts. So if you're interested in this trivia, by the way, I am using Windows 7, not Windows 10. So we should have fewer of the weird problems that we had before. And here we go at Cleveland Municipal Stadium. So I was curious about what the what the fatigue was going to look like, and it did carry over the fatigue completely. Didn't carry over the Diamond Mind pitch or Diamond Mind replay statistics, unfortunately. So anyway, you learn a new thing every day about exactly how this works. I don't know why that's not carried over, but it doesn't really matter that much to me. Yeah, look at this. So it does reset. It's reset everything, so we don't get to see what it is these guys did in the regular season. Oh, we can change up here. So if we go up here to the regular season, which is what we want, Bob Levin was 15-6. The other option we have here is Mike Garcia. Garcia was 18-7, right? Or we could do Bob Feller. Feller was only 8-2. He only pitched 27 games. I'm not sure if he had military obligations that year or exactly what happened. My guess is that in real life, even though Feller did pitch on the 25th, that they would probably start Feller in the series, or either that or maybe early win. And I think that they would end up starting Feller. So that's what we're going to do here. We're going to start Bob Feller and just sort of start over from there and sort of see where all of this takes us, right? Now, of course, we're facing Don Newcomb, which means that we've got a righty on the mound. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to actually load the save lineups that are recommended by the game and take a look at that. Of course, the problem is that Vic Wirtz should technically be injured. I don't know if it's going to tell us that he's injured or not, or is his status... it looks like his status is actually not injured, so we can play with Wirtz. So how about that? So we will play with him anyway. We'll go ahead and let them have the 26th player. I don't really care that much about that. Another question is, do we want Kiner on the bench, or do we want Gene Woodling to start? Taking a quick look at this. Woodling didn't have the power, but probably had a little bit more of the average. I think that we'll probably have Woodling start. I'm also guessing that, Kiner did actually do okay against righties. We probably would have Kiner in there against lefties. So yeah, we're going to have Woodling start. The thing is, I really wish I could change this over so that it's showing me the real life regular season stats instead of the playoffs, but whatever. So it is. So that's the lineup that I think we're going to go for. I don't think I'm going to make a whole bunch of major changes here or anything like that. We'll kind of start with this and we'll see where we go from there. And so here we are again. Now, I do think that this looks actually a little bit better in Windows 7 than it does in Windows 10. So there you have it. And we're going to go ahead and get going. So you can see it's Jim Gilliam there for the Dodgers. Dodgers, by the way, in real life in the World Series, ended up using pretty much the same lineup almost every single day. Gilliam fouls the pitch back there to start it off with. And see, again, here we have nothing but zeros as he takes the ball. So 1-1 the count on Gilliam. There's a strike at the knees, and it's 1-2. And this one's popped up and out of play. Still 1-2 the count. High and inside, and it's 2-2. And so we'll see what happens here. And that's close. So it's a full count now. Now we go take a look really quick again. I wanted to see what this looks like in the regular season for Feller. Feller struck out only 37, walked 29 in 92 innings. So I don't know if there was military obligations or if this was just the end of the line for Feller, who was 36 years old. So we'll see what happens here. I think we'll know in a second. There's a ground ball to second base, and it's Avila with the play on to first, and there's one away. Here now is Pee Wee Reese. And there's a ball inside to Reese, 1-0. And there's a little ground ball over to short. Strickland has that on to first, and there are 2 away. I'm going to make a little bit of a change here, actually. We'll go over here to options, and we'll increase the delay between plays a little bit so that I can see what happens if we need to. So up now is the Duke of Flatbush. Takes the ball wide, and there's a foul ball. So it's 1-1 now on Snyder. That's fouled away. 1-2 now the count on him. And there's a swing and a miss. So Feller gets him, and that does it. We go to the bottom of the first inning. No score. Al Smith leads this off against Don Newcomb. And that's hit into left center field. How about that? That's in between Amorose and Snyder, and you have that deep fence out there. And so it's a double for Smith, and that'll bring up Bobby Avila. Now, as you probably already know, Cleveland Municipal Stadium in 1955, by this time they had the extra fence out there in front of the real old fence, right? So it's a little bit easier to hit a home run in this park than it originally was. And there's a ball high and outside to Avila, 1-0. That's inside, 2-0 the count. And there's a swing and a miss by Avila, 2-1. And that's called a ball. Looks like it was close to being a strike, but called a ball. Says 3-1 is the count on Bobby. We'll have him take this. And he takes ball 4. How about that? So Newcomb giving up a walk early, and Don is in some trouble. Now, in real life in 55, of course, Newcomb did have problems in the first game. He was actually injured. And Wirtz, who probably should be injured, ends up popping this up, and Gilliam grabs it for the out, and so there's one away. And yeah, that's right. It is a big out for Newcomb. And there's a pop-up now by Al Rosen, and we get the same result again. Another big out from Newcomb. How about that? So maybe there are problems with Windows 7. I don't know. 2 away up now, Larry Doby, who takes a strike. It's a curve. And there's a drive to right field, but Furillo's there, and that does it. And we go to the top of the second inning, no score. Last time we had the Dodgers is Campanella takes a strike. Last time we had the Dodgers and the Indians, of course, was 1920, which was the series with the unassisted triple play in the first Grand Slam. 1-1 in Campanella, and 2-1 as that's outside. So we'll see if we have this sort of that sort of excitement in this series. There's a pop fly up to center field. Doby has that, and there's one away. Sandy Amorose now fouls one away. 0-1 the count on Amorose. Amorose, one of the heroes of the real life 1955 World Series. And there's a strike in there to him, 0-2. High fly ball over there to right field. Al Smith is there, and he's got it for the out, and there's 2 away, and here comes Gil Hodges. There's a strike in there to Hodges, 0-1. A little number off to the right, but foul, 0-2. That's high. 1-2 the count on Gil. A ground ball to second. Avila drops it a little bit, but it's time to recover on to first for the out, and that does it. We go to the bottom of the second here now. Gene Woodling here. Former Yankee here for the Indians takes a strike from Newcomb. And there's a ball way up there inside, 1-1. The pop-up, and Campanella has that for the out, 1 away. Here comes George Strickland, who takes the ball a little bit inside. The ground ball wide at first. Hodges has to go off his glove, and then it's going to end up being an error on him. And Newcomb there in time. He would actually, how do you let it go? Newcomb would have been there in time to make the play, and I'm guessing, I don't know if Don made it there in time or not, but that's same as a single, at least in the box, where it ends up being an error. But as long as you got a guy on first base, that's what matters. That brings up Jim Hegan, and we have the first real decision here of the series, which is whether to bunt or not, and I think we will. And there's a ball high and outside, 1-0. There's a sacrifice. He gets it down towards first base. Hodges grabs it. He tries to tag Hegan for the out and misses him, and so Strickland goes up to second, and that's going to be a big play. That brings up Feller, who you know is going to bunt. So, by the way, when it comes to the pitchers hitting here, we have an interesting matchup because Don Newcomb in 1955 was actually a great hitter. Bob Feller hitting .048. He misses that pitch trying to bunt it. 0-1 the count. And it's bunted to the right and it's foul. 0-2. We're going to have him bunt again just so he doesn't hit into a double play. And that was a pitch in the dirt there by Newcomb. Not sure what he's doing. So 1-2 now the count on Feller. Drops it down to the right side. Hodges makes the play over to Gilliam for the out, and the runners move up, and that's what we wanted him to do. So runners on second and third now, or 2 men out, bottom of the second, and we'll see if Al Smith can do something good for us. There's a ball low and off the plate, 1-0 to Al. And that's off the trademark to left field. It's going to be a single in front of Amoros that scores 1. Hegan doesn't have much by way of wheels, so we're going to hold him at third, and that makes it a 1-0 game for the Indians. That brings up Bobby Avila. So Avila last time up walked, and we'll see what he can do here with runners on the corners. There's a ball high to him, 1-0 the count. That's over to left center field, back there, and it is gone. Home run for Bobby Avila, and it's a 4-0 lead here for the Indians. How about that? Real interesting thing, right? I was reading today for the podcast for tomorrow on the blog that I still have to record. We're going to talk about Game 6 of the actual World Series in real life, and that's the game where the Yankees got a home run by Moose Skowron, I think it was, who put them up 5-0 in the first inning. Well, here in the first game of this 1955 World Series, the Indians are up 4-0 in the second. So we'll see if Brooklyn can come back from this. Vic Wertz takes a strike, 0-1. And it's low, 1-1 the count now on Wertz. There's a strike in there, changeup, 1-2. And there's a ball outside. You know what? I just realized something as I'm looking at the screen. I should move myself probably over here. So there you go. 2-2 now the count. A ground ball up the middle for a base hit, and that'll bring up Al Rosen. And I think Newcomb is starting to struggle. So maybe just like in real life, maybe fantasy is going to take a page out of reality. There's a little ground ball over to Reese, who flips it to Gilliam for the force out at second, and that does it, but not before Cleveland scores 4. It's a 4-0 ball game. And here we go to the top of the third inning. It'll be Carl Furillo. There's a ball high. 1-0 the count on Carl. And that's just low. 2-0 now the count. You know, I'm going to make a little bit of a change here again to this. We're going to take a little bit off of that delay at the end of the play because I'm getting a little impatient. There's a ball hit deep to right center field, and Smith running back there, back to the wall, and makes a spectacular catch right by the 390-foot sign for the out, and there's one away. Very loud out there by Furillo. Robinson up there now. It's a ground ball to first base, and Wertz eats it up and steps on the bag for the out, 2 away, and here comes Newcomb. It's fouled back, 0-1. Newcomb in real life, of course, hit .359. He also hit .354 in 1954, so don't think that this was a fluke. When it comes to what he did in this replay, .375 is what he hit with a massive 10 home runs, 30 men driven in. No wonder the Dodgers won so many games, right? Because he's hitting like he's another outfielder, and he loved hitting against righties. There's a line drive to the right side past Wertz, and that's a base hit. First hit for the Dodgers. What did I tell you? What did I tell you about this guy? So here comes Jim Gilliam now. Runner on at first base, and there's a ball inside to Gilliam, 1-0. Down the middle for a strike, 1-1 now. And that's in there tight. 2-1 the count on Jim. Fouled away, 2-2 now. And there's a ground ball right side. It's going to be Wertz who grabs it, flips it over, but Feller can't hold on to it. That's going to be an error on Robert, and we have runners, or the Dodgers, have runners on first and second, just like that, as Gilliam safe at first on that error. And what did I tell you? This is one of those Dodger teams that would come back all the time. There's a lot of power on this team, a lot of home run ability, and a lot of speed. And in real life, they also bunted quite a bit. We'll see if they do any of that here in this series. There's a ball to Pee Wee Reese, 1-0. That's way off the plate. 2-0 the count on Pee Wee. And there's a strike, 2-1 on Reese. Fouled up in the air, out of play, 2-2. And that's fouled away again. 2-2 still on Pee Wee. That's fouled away at the plate once again. Ground ball through the middle. It's fielded by Strickland, who goes over to first in time for the out, and we go to the bottom of the third inning. So the Dodgers had a chance to make something happen, and it didn't happen in the end, and here comes Larry Doby. Doby 0 for 1 today. Lines this to right center field, and it's Furillo making the catch, 1 away. So first ball swinging, and he's out, and here comes Gene Woodling. Woodling fly ball foul to the left side, out of play. 0-1 the count. Woodling, 32 years old. Hit .314 in the regular season. Certainly one of the reasons that the Indians managed to win the pennant. 32 years old. I'm not sure what the Yankees got rid of him for. I don't remember it. This is down the line into the corner of the right field, and Furillo took a look at it. Couldn't get there in time, and that was off the base of the ball, just barely fair, and Woodling makes it into second base with a double. So here come the Indians again, and up is George Strickland. It's a fastball that misses inside, 1-0. And that's out off the plate, 2-0 the count. Ground ball up the middle, base hit into center field. Woodling doesn't have much by way of wheels, so we will hold him. Runners on at first and third now here for Jim Hegan. So Strickland does have some wheels. I think we will try to hit and run. Swing and a miss, and there's the throw down to second base. He's a dead duck, I think. Nope, he's safe, as that was a bad throw by Campanella. Gilliam had to grab that one out of the dirt. Strickland safe at second, and so it works just as well as a bunt. And now the question is, do they actually pitch to Hegan, or do they try to skip him and get to Feller? That's a ball around the knees, 1-1. Chopper to third base. Robinson's going to field that. There's trying to think if we want to try to score or not. We might as well and see if we can take a free run. Robinson goes to the plate, and yeah, they had Woodling hung up, and he had nowhere to go. Strickland moved over to third base. Hegan now on at first, and so there's 2 away. 4-0 still Indians. Probably worth a try, though. I mean, you can let me know what you would do in that situation. I think it's probably worth a try to, try to score. Might as well give it a shot. Here comes Feller. He takes the ball low, 1-0. Almost want to bunt with Feller with 2 outs. There's a strike, 1-1. And 2-1 is that's low, so maybe Newcomb is a little bit wild. Now he chases that one out of the strike zone, 2-2. And he went on that. So there, down goes Feller, and down go the Indians. We go to the top of the fourth, still a 4-0 game. Snyder now up there. 0 for 1 so far. Takes the ball inside. It's hit deep, but to center field, and Doby's got it for the out. 1 away. Roy Campanella. And he fouls that one back. 0-1. Fouled upstairs. 0-2 now on Roy. And that's low and away. 1-2. Ball 2. Is that one just missed? That's fouled away. Still 2-2 on Roy. And that's a curveball that hits him in the hand, and he goes over to first base. So I've talked about this before in my 1949 videos. This is because I'm using what's the guy's name? Jack, right? The extended Diamond Mine Baseball play-by-play. This refers to stuff that doesn't actually happen in the game engine. So I could take over the Dodgers and force Campanella out of the game. The question is, do I want to do that or not? I might actually, I'll show you here what this works. Maybe we can do that sort of this time around. So the way to do this is to simply set this to human, and then we go over to the batting lineup, and they're going to need a pinch hitter, or a pinch runner, I'm sorry. Now, you would want somebody who's actually pretty fast. Probably Don Hoke is who you'd want. And so the way that we're going to play this is pretty simple. We're going to have him pinch run here for Campanella. We click OK. And we're going to go back here to our game options. We're going to go to manager and change that over to computer. So we've made the change for them. And now let's see what happens. So Sandy Ambrose up there now, and he takes a strike, 0-1. Hope you don't mind that this is a little bit slower as he takes the ball 1-1. This is going to be slower than some of my earlier broadcasts. I think all of these will be, as I want to enjoy this. 1-2 now on Sandy. That's fouled away. 1-2 is just outside of first base, and I don't think Wirtz had a chance of fielding that. 1-2. Just fouled away. 1-2 still on Sandy. That's high. 2-2. There's a pop-up over the right side, out of play, still 2-2. Line shot to the right side, and Avila with a great catch throws over to first base for the double play, and the Indians get out of another jam. So Brooklyn's still with only one hit in this ball game as we go to the bottom of the fourth inning, 4-0 Indians, and here comes Al Smith again. He had a run-scoring single last time up as he takes a strike at the knees, so Smith already with his first RBI. There's a ground ball over to Reese, and Pee Wee throws over to first base, and not only does Hodges not catch that goes into the dugout. Awful throw. And they're going to give Smith second base because that went into the dugout. So runner on at second base now for the Indians, and up comes Bobby Avila. I guess you could say the Newcombs had some bad luck here. Avila had that big home run last time. He takes a ball, and that's fouled away. 1-1. That's hit back to Newcomb, and he throws over to first for the out. Smith has to hold over at second base. No chance of going anywhere. One away, and here comes Wirtz. That's high for a ball, 1-0. Fouled away. 1-1 now. A little bit of a flare. It's going to be Reese who grabs that one in shallow left field for the second out. 2 gone. Here's Al Rosen. And that's popped up, and it's going to be caught by Robinson leaning over the rail for the catch. And so we go now to the top of the fifth inning, and it's still a 4-0 ball game. It'll be Gil Hodges here, and he takes the changeup tight, 1-0. Feller pitching well, better than I thought, and ground ball to Avila at second, throws to first, 1 away. Here's Carl Furillo. I mean, Feller's pitching like this really is the World Series. Ball there to Furillo, and that's high, 2-0. And that's high again, 3-0. And I just thought of something. As you know, Bob Feller never won a World Series game in real life. 3-1 now. That's fouled away. Full count now in Furillo. That's just outside for a ball 4. And so now we got Jackie Robinson up there again. No, 1 out, I'm sorry. Runner on at first base. The ground ball over to Rosen, goes to second base, on to first. Robinson beats that out. So 2 gone, and here comes Don Newcomb. Might seem a little bit odd to see Jackie Robinson starting at the number 8 spot in the lineup. I guess that's what the computer decided to do with him. Robinson still had his speed. Of course, you know, it's very famous. He stole home in the World Series, first game in real life. But he was bothered by some injuries. And you'll notice here that he tended to do a lot better against lefties than against righties that season. Diamond Mind, at least this season, is built upon that, so it's going to make those decisions. Newcomb hits the first pitch that comes to him over to center field for a base hit, putting runners on first and second with 2 outs. Jim Gilliam now hits a foul ball, 0-1, and that was accidental on my part. I didn't want to hit the button that quickly. And that's driven over to left field. Woodling runs that one down, goes for the catch and drops it. And that's going to be problematic here. So 1 run scores. Robinson was the runner who scored. Newcomb goes over to first base, to third base, and Gilliam winds up over at second. So how about that? Now, if you remember here, one of my customs here is to sort of save this sort of stuff. Thinking, I might as well go ahead and do this. It's been a little while since I've done these replays, and I've been, collecting different Diamond Mine Baseball rare plays and stuff like that. So we might as well get back into this, see if I can remember where everything's at. We'll call this a rare play, and we'll just sort of keep these together. And so a little bit of a rare play there. It should have been the 3rd out in the inning, and instead of getting the 3rd out, it ends up being an absolute disaster. And after that absolute disaster, it's a 4-1 ball game now. And this isn't necessarily the end of the world, but that's definitely not an auspicious sign. So here's Pee Wee Reese now with 2 men on. Pee Wee Reese, the potential tying run if he can get a hold of one. He takes a strike. And there's a strike in the outside corner. 0-2 here on Reese. Ground ball, Rosen grabs that one, throws over to first base after bobbling it just in time for the out. And so we go to the bottom of the 5th inning, but the Dodgers do get 1 back. Only 2 hits for Brooklyn, and there have been 2 errors for both teams, which is indicative of a high-tense World Series game. And so here's Larry Doby. So Cleveland seeing another World Series here as Doby takes a ball high. They saw the World Series in '54, seeing it again here, and there was a ball 2-0. Hoping for a better result against the other New York team in the National League. There's a strike to Doby, 2-1, and that's low and outside, 3-1 the count. And that'll be a strike. Full count now on Larry Doby. And that's right down Broadway for strike 3. So much for Doby. So 1 away, and here comes Gene Woodling. Now, I know what you're probably thinking about. You're thinking about the same thing I am right now, as Woodling takes a strike, 0-1. There are all these great George McClendon recreations of games. There are 3 of them that are out there. I uploaded one recently when I got a copy of it, the one from 1886, to the folder with all the games. I've got more coming up, so look for them soon. I probably should listen to that a little bit more so I can take some advice from McClendon, who is one of the best broadcasters of all time. Woodling takes a strike, and it's 0-2. That's hit deep to right field and foul. Still 0-2. Fouled away. 0-2, the count remains. There's a ball inside, 1-2. Of course, McClendon had all sorts of different crowd noises and stuff to use. McClendon hits that to center field, and there's 2 away. I've thought about doing stuff like that as well. I'm not sure if I'm a big fan of that or not, though. I kind of like doing it this way. I think of this more as sort of like a podcast style. And hey, maybe I will start releasing this stuff as a podcast. Just let me know what you think would work well, huh? There's a ball inside to George Strickland, 1-0. A little fly ball over to center field. Newcomb gets the 3rd out as Snyder makes the catch. We go to the top of the 6th inning. Actually, pretty fast playing ball game, though I've been going slow. Snyder now takes a strike, and that's wide, 1-1. There's a little bit high in the changeup, 2-1. I'll tell you what, if this ends up being successful, Snyder takes another ball, 3-1. If this is successful, if people like it, I might do more videos like this with other projects that I have going on. And there's a base hit line to left field for the Duke. So the Duke of Flatbush on at first base and nobody out in the top of the 6th inning. Brooklyn has had runners on bases, I think, in every single inning so far in this game and has only brought 1 across. Rube Walker now fouls that one away, 0-1. Walker, the new catcher. I missed that when he came in because Campanella was injured. There's a pop-up, and it'll be Strickland who calls for that one, makes the catch, 1 away. Sandy Amoros now. There's a strike in there to Sandy, 0-1. Looks like they might be trying to steal with Snyder. And there's a strike, fastball in there for strike 2. Feller doesn't even care. Fly ball now over left field. Actually, it'll be Strickland, the shortstop, making the catch for the out, and there's 2 away, and here comes Gil Hodges. It's a ball high to Hodges, 1-0. Another ball, 2-0. Hodges just torching left-handed pitchers in 1955. There's a ball that hits the bag at second base, and it is going to roll over to Doby in center field. 2 men out, and Snyder going for third base. We're going to try to throw him out. And Doby's throw is good. Rosen applies the tag, and it is not in time, so Snyder's safe at third base. That brings up Carl Furillo, and now it's time to worry a little bit. Furillo, a big power hitter. 26 home runs in real life regular season. Diamond Mine regular season, he had 28, drove in 110, had a very, very good season, hit 349. So far here in this game, he's 0 for 1 and has a walk. And there's a ball inside. No, it's fouled away, beg your pardon. No one won the count. And that's on the inside corner for a strike, a called strike, a favorable call there for Feller. Feller only 1 strikeout so far, 0-2 on Carl. Strike 3, and there you go, outside corner, and Feller getting probably a really nice call there from the umpire. That takes us to the bottom of the 6th inning. So it's going to be Jim Hegan here. And that's hit over into the air to a left center field. It'll be the left fielder Almaros grabbing that one for the out, 1 away. Bob Feller now coming up. Just so you know, if you're curious about how this is working, I have Audacity working in the background, and this is fouled away, 0-1. Audacity is picking up the audio of this game. Audacity, of course, is free for capturing audio, and that's the way that I'm able to make the audio sound higher quality than it would be with just the microphone itself. 0-2 now on Feller. And got him, Feller, no chance on that one. So 2 away now, and here comes Al Smith. That's a change from the way that I was doing these before, and hopefully that'll convince people to stick around. Smith takes a strike, and that's chased low and away. So 0-2 now on Smith. And it's fouled, a foul tip, but Walker can't hold on to it. It's still 0-2. Ground ball inside third base, fair ball, and he's going to go into second easily with the double. So a second double of the ball game for Smith as that one got past Jackie Robinson, and that'll bring up Bobby Avila. So Cleveland, with the 4-1 lead, still has another chance to maybe do something here, and here comes Avila with that big home run earlier today. There's a strike to him, 1 for 2. And there's another strike, breaking ball. 0-2 now on Bobby. That's fouled out of play. Still 0-2. And that's fouled to the backstop. Just barely got his bat on that one. Ball low and outside. So 1-2 now the count on Bobby. And there's strike 3 right down the middle, and that'll do it. So we go to the top of the 7th inning now. It's a 4-1 ball game here for Cleveland, and the Dodgers are running out of outs. Here comes Jackie Robinson. 89 pitches for Feller, throws a ball. That was number 90. Shot into left field, and that's going to be an easy single there for Robinson. That one gets past through that hole. So runner on first base. Here comes Don Newcomb, who's going to hit for himself. You ever seen Newcomb's 1955 APA card as he takes the ball? You know what I'm talking about. This guy could hit. There's a bunt in front of the plate. Hegan goes to first to Vila, and that does it, and Robinson moves up to second. That's an interesting call. I wonder if Newcomb wasn't actually trying to bunt for a base hit. So runner on at second base now, and they're going to take Gilliam out there and have George Shuba come up to hit, which is an interesting decision to make. I'm not sure I fully understand the idea behind this. Shuba hit only .220 in the regular season. Against righties, hit only .222. Only one at bat, by the way, against lefties, which is fascinating. Diamond Mine was able to do that as well in the season, and there's a ball low and away to George. Inside 2-0. And there's a ground ball up the middle. Avila, he throws over to first base for the out. Jackie moves over to third base, but there's 2 away now, and here comes Pee Wee Reese. So when the computer manager does weird things like that, you can't undo it here. There's the ball to Reese. You can't undo it, and so we kind of go along with it and figure that something happened. I don't know. It's kind of a bizarre decision to make, but so it is. Fouled off of Reese's foot, 1-1. That's low, 2-1 now. And swing and a miss on that one, 2-2 on Reese. Fouled away. And there's a called strike 3, so the third strikeout there for Feller. And we sort of see what happens there defensively. So the Dodgers bring in Don Zimmer to play third base. Jackie Robinson goes over to second. I'm not sure if this was done for defensive purposes because you're down 4-1 in a World Series game, but you never know. Things like that did kind of happen in real life as Vic Wertz takes a strike. There's a ball off the outside corner, 1-1. Ground ball second base, Robinson over to first, 1 gone. Here's Al Rosen. And that's going to be a ball to Al, 1-0. And there's the strike, 1-1 the count. And that's just off the outside corner, 1-2. And there's a foul ball, still 1-2. Newcomb now has his pitch count up there. There's a ball low, 2-2. And that's high. So full count now on Rosen as he's been working him. That's fouled away again. Newcomb in real life in the World Series in 55, he pitched less than 6 innings. There's a pop-up behind first base, and it's going to be Hodges making the catch for the out, 1 away, and here's Larry Doby. Of course, in real life, Newcomb had shoulder issues. In this replay, he's not going to have any issues at all. Strike to Doby from Newcomb. Let's head over to left field now, Almaros, and he's got that for the out, and that does it. So we'll go to the top of the 8th inning. Still a 4-1 ball game in favor of Cleveland, and here comes Duke Snider. Slider to Snider from Feller for a strike, 0-1. And that's high, 1-1. Feller pitching pretty well. Little ground ball over to third base. Rosen on to first, 1 away. Here comes Rube Walker. There's the strike to Walker. 0-1 is the count on him. Popped up, and Vic Wertz makes the catch for the out, 2 men away. And here's Sandy Amoros. And Sandy takes the ball inside. That's just off the plate, 2-0. Ball 3, is that one missed? And there's ball 4. So Almaros takes a walk from Feller. It's only the second one that Bob's given up. You can tell Bob wants this win. Here comes Gil Hodges. Well, if Bob has some problems, though, we do have relief for him. There's a strike by Feller, 0-1, sorry. That's fouled away, 0-2 now. That misses, 1-2. Ground ball to the left side, and Rosen tries to make a diving stop on that one and can't. That'll be a base hit. Amoros, of course, has to stop at second base with the play right in front of him. There's going to be Carl Furillo now. Remember, 2 men out, runners on first and second. Furillo, dangerous hitter, could be the potential tying run. There's a strike in there, 0-1 to Carl. That just misses him, 1-1. Popped over to the left side, Rosen, he can't get there, 1-2. And that's going to be a ball, 2-2 now the count. It's left center field. That's going, gone. Home run for Furillo. And that makes this a brand new ball game. So Carl Furillo, with 2 strikes on him, 2-2 pitch, hits that one deep to left center field over the heads of Woodling and Doby for a home run. It's his first home run of the World Series, and that ties this ball game up, and that's a big surprise. Feller. That was pitch number 120 for him. I'm going to take a look over here and trying to decide if I'm leaving him in or not. We'll see what he does with Jackie Robinson. Only 7 hits off of Feller, and it's a 4-4 ball game. 2-0 now the count on Robinson, and Feller might need to come out, and that's low and away. 3-0 the count. There's a strike, 3-1. Out and away for a ball 4, and that will be it for Feller. So we'll see what happens here. We have Newcomb coming up, and I think if I remember right, Newcomb has a hard time hitting against left-handed batting. He does. Look at this. So we're going to go here to the regular season. Newcomb hit 252 against lefties. I'm sorry, this is pitching. Here we go, regular season. Newcomb hit 143 against lefties and 408 against righties. So we're going to put in a left-handed pitcher. We just have to figure out who it is we want to do. Probably not score. We need to start somebody. The question is, probably Don Mossy is who we're going to put in. So Mossy's who we want. Now, Narleski actually was the guy who was their save guy in real life. But Mossy can do that too if you want. We want Larry Doby to stay in this ball game, so we'll just put Mossy in here in the number 9 spot. It doesn't really matter because we would pinch hit for him anyway. And there we have it. Frank Kellert ends up being the pinch hitter. This is exactly what we want to do because Newcomb has been hammering us and he's been pitching well. Ball in the dirt, 1-0 now on Kellert. And that's fouled away, 1-1. Hit down the left field line. Woodling runs over there and makes the catch for the out. And so we'll go to the bottom of the 8th inning. And who is it but Carl Spooner coming up to pitch? Spooner, by the way, did start one of the games in real life. I'm trying to remember which one. I think it was either Game 4 or Game 5 for the Dodgers. And that's largely because Newcomb had his arm problems, his shoulder problems, I should say. Woodling bats first and fouls one away, 0-1. And there's a ball, 1-1 the count. Hit to right center field. Furillo, Snyder running after that one, and it's going to be Furillo making the catch, and Snyder dives to get out of his way. 1 away, and here's George Strickland. Hit to center field, and that's a soft. Interesting, you hit that ball hard to right field and make an out, and you hit it softly to center field in front of everybody, and it's a base hit for Strickland. That'll bring up Jim Hegan. So remember that when people talk to you about how important power hitting is. And we've got a tie ball game, so I think that we're going to try to bunt with Hegan. Takes the ball low, 1-0. Down the left side, Zimmer has that one, throws over to Robinson covering at first base for the out. Strickland moves up a bag, and there are 2 away. And as I promised, we're going to have a pinch hitter come in, and it's going to be this guy. Ralph Kiner in the 1949 replay feels like he was hitting home runs every time he turned around. So we'll see if he can do something like that here. There's a strike to Kiner. Kiner, by the way, 18 home runs in real life in 1955. In the replay, only 12, and his offensive productivity had tailed off a bit. Now, there's all sorts of reasons stuff like that can happen in the replays. He takes a ball, 1-1. And that's high and outside, 2-1. Although the replay that I had the computer do was with the real lineups and real life transactions, so everything should be about right. Ground ball, third base, Zimmer over to first. And Hodges goes and grabs it, but had to leave the bag. It's going to be an error on Zimmer, and that puts runners on first and third. And that means the Dodgers are changing pitchers again. This is going to be Clem Labine. Another player that we can do a little bit of talking about. So before it was Spooner, right? Didn't last very long, 2/3 of an inning. Labine here, the righty, was really the Dodgers' closer in real life, and I presume that the computer is using him as sort of in that role. In real life, Labine, if you care about these stats, had how many saves did he have? 11 saves, and Diamond Mine 13, but that's not really the one that's important. Most important to us here is the batting average against lefties and righties, which is a little bit better in Diamond Mine than it was in real life. So we'll see what happens here with Al Smith. And there's a breaking ball outside, and wow. So the runner on third base was caught off the bag for the out. We're going to go back and take a little bit of a look at the replay, and we're going here into extra innings. And so the question is, do we want to bring lefties up or righties? For the most part in real life, the Dodgers feasted off of lefties. So we'll see what we want to do. Lemon, we want to start. I'm thinking, do we want Hudaman? Part of the problem here is that the Indians use too many pitchers there on the 25th. Score, Win, and Lemon are going to be our starters. I think we're going to bring out the big bear, Mike Garcia, I think is what we're going to do. So to go back to that play, Strickland on third base was caught a little bit, leading off a little bit too much, and there was a quick throw over to the bag, and Zimmer caught it and made the tag all in one motion. Big play there by Don Zimmer to stop a potential scoring chance. Especially big play for Zimmer when you consider that he didn't start this game and came in cold off the bench. So here is Don Zimmer. As they used to say, you always have an at-bat right after making the big play in the field, and there's a ball to him, 1-0. And that bounces. 2-0 is the count. Hits that one to left field, and it is gone. Home run for Don Zimmer, just curving that one around the foul pole. And so Mike Garcia gives up a home run to the first batter here in the top of the ninth inning of the first game of the World Series, and that'll bring up Pee Wee Reese, and this is shaping up to be an all-time classic. There's a ball low, 1-0 the count. Garcia having a hard time finding the plate here. Too far inside with that slider, 2-0. That's a ball high, 3-0 the count. There's the strike, 3-1. Otherwise, we have to take the bear out of there. That's line foul, full count. Garcia is only in here because I don't think I'm going to start him as a starter, and he tries to check his swing to Reese, and that's called for a strike 3, one away, and here comes Duke Snider. The check swing, which tells you Garcia doesn't have his good stuff. The Duke guy hits a foul ball to the right side, 0-1. Popped up, Hegan can't get there, it's 0-2. And that's low, just misses, 1-2. Line between first and second, Wirtz dives, can't get to it, and that's a base hit, and that'll bring up Rube Walker. So we'll see how long we stay with Garcia. There's a strike at the knees, 0-1. Bounced high in the air, Garcia has that one, throws over to first for the out, and Snider moves up, good as a bunt, and that will bring up Sandy Amoros. Amoros, I believe, had a home run in the first game of the World Series, if I remember this right, in real life. Takes the ball. There's a strike, 1-1. Lots of home runs hit in this 55 World Series, by the way. There was a strike, 1-2, but it was actually in 56 that the Yankees set the record. And there's a ball, 1-2, I'm sorry, that's fouled away. Fouled away again, still 1-2 on Sandy. And there's a ball, that's a poor pitch that misses. Inside corner for strike 3, Garcia gets his man, and we go to the bottom of the ninth inning. So fasten your seatbelts. Clem Labine will remain out there. He's got Al Smith, he's got Avila, and then he's got Wirtz, and we'll see where we go from there. Smith takes a strike, 0-1, 3 for 4 today, having a great game. Low and inside, but they call that one a strike, 0-2 on Smith, controversial call. And that's low, 1-2. Swung on and missed, down he goes, and Labine gets the first out, one away. Here comes Bobby Avila, 1 for 3 today with that big home run, 3 RBIs, and there's a ball, 1-0. Another ball, 2-0. So Feller in danger of not winning the World Series game. Well, he won't win it no matter what. 3-0 is the count. Feller falling apart in the late innings. And that's a ball to Avila, ball 4, and that'll bring up Vic Wirtz. Speaking of falling apart, Cleveland still has a chance in this one. Here comes Wirtz. Hit down the right field line, and that ball is just barely foul. That ball is gone. What a game this would be. 1 strike. Fouls that off the screen. 0-2 now on Vic. And there's the ball. 1-2. Just low. 2-2 now on Wirtz. And that's high. It's going to be a full count now on Vic. Just inside for ball 4. Labine walks 2 men in a row. Up comes Al Rosen. This is not what you want to do if you're the Brooklyn Dodgers. Al Rosen, during the simulation regular year, hit only .214, but 17 home runs. .344 slugging percentage is actually not really that great, but he did have a bit of pop in his bat. Starting to wonder if we should bunt with him. There's a strike called to him. We're going to try that. Bunted up in the air. That's a bad bunt. 0-2 the count. Let's try it one more time. Now the third base line, Zimmer's only played first base in time for the out, and that moves 2 men up. And so that'll bring up Larry Doby now with 2 outs and 2 on. Bottom of the ninth inning, down by a run. Doby, I can't remember. I don't believe that we looked at him in real life. He hit a little bit over 300, 309, 104 RBIs. This Indians team in this, I said real life, in this replay in the regular season. This Indians team hitting very, very well in the replay. So here comes Doby. Fouled that one away, 0 for 4 in this game. That's high, 1-1. Fouled away, 1-2 the count. That's fouled away again. And he went around, and that does it. So there's your ball game. In the end, Clem Labine throws or gets the save, though the game's not crediting him with the save, which is kind of interesting to me. I'm not quite sure what he has to do. We've already saved all of that stuff. We'll take a look pretty quickly here at the box score, and I'm going to have to I'll just scroll a little bit. No, that's not really that important. Those are just the changes in personnel and stuff like that. Yeah, no, Labine gets the win. That's the reason why he doesn't get the save. And so the Dodgers end up winning this one on a dramatic home run, top of the 9th inning, 5-4. And that's the way that this World Series starts. So win for the Dodgers here in this one. And so let's see what happens. Did I close that game correctly? I suppose that I did. You can tell it's been a little while since I've done this. So the championship here, you can see the Dodgers with a 1-0 lead. All of this is really old tech, of course. So, here you go. Is this feeling like you're back in the DOS era almost. But there you have it. So I really do hope that you enjoyed that. Let me know down in the comments what you thought. A little bit long, I know, but I can keep talking and keep going for quite some time. So let me know what you think about that. If you enjoyed that, we can do more of this in the future. I think it might be fun. I might do some experimentation with different types of videos and stuff to attract a few more people and have some more content here for members only. So we'll see what we can do. Hope you enjoyed that. I will talk with you later. Bye-bye.